Hey there, this is Dave from The Greg and Dave Show. Thank you for listening to the following broadcast here on Public House Media.
This is Kim Meyer, the host of Choose to Rise here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Choose to Rise, where we talk about living with positive mindsets, how to increase our confidence, building our faith, and living out our life on purpose. A new show comes out via podcast every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if you want to catch the episode live instead, stop by Public House Media around 6:45 Central Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday as well. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Choose to Rise. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What is this? What's happening right now? This isn't normal. What's going on? Well, what's happening? This is Cinema Stories. We're turning a new leaf over here at Cinema Stories. Something that we've never done before. We've gotten to 1,000 downloads. I promise you guys something crazy. This is pretty insane. Today, we are not discussing one TV show or one movie. We haven't even talked about a TV show in like 8 years. The show's been around for like a few months, so I don't know. But anyways, I'm Sam Kirby. This is Cinema Stories. And for Cinema Stories first, we have a guest here. I'm shocked myself. My great friend, movie enthusiast, Ben Kamueller. How's it going?
I'm good, Kirby. How are you? Thanks for having me.
You know, anytime, Ben. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Something about myself. I'm a junior at the University of Platteville, Wisconsin.
Very nice. Very
studying
nice.
marketing and sales.
Great.
I'm going to sell some stuff, you know what I'm saying?
And we wouldn't be here without people selling stuff.
And
That's true.
I am a movie enthusiast, like you said.
Great. It's always good to be a movie enthusiast on a show called Cinema Stories. So today, like I said, we're going to be discussing a boatload of movies. But before we get into that, I would like to thank the very special people over at Public House Media. They make this show possible. Go check out their store. Get Cinema Stories gear. Get Cinema Stories socks. Ben, would you have Cinema Stories socks? Would you invest in that?
Oh man, I would invest in Cinema Story socks.
Ben, approximately how many socks do you have?
I'd say probably 500 pairs of socks.
500 and only 20 years of life. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
It was Ben's birthday yesterday. We celebrated. It was great.
Big 2-0.
Big 2-0. So let's get started on this episode of Cinema Stories. So, Ben, for the lovely people at home, the fans, the hardcore dedicated fans, all three of them, I think they would like to know, what do you go into when you go into a movie? What do you want to get out of it?
What am I looking for?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for something that can captivate my attention. I want it to be entertaining. I want it to, if it's a 3-hour movie, I want it to feel like it's an hour. I want to just be so into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
You really want to get enthralled in the movie.
Exactly. I want to feel the emotion of all the characters.
That's true. Characters, that's all great stuff. I think that a movie we can both agree on captured that essence that maybe flew by a little bit faster than, we anticipated. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, that was a great movie.
Great movie indeed. So, first Ant-Man, directed by Peyton Reed, who also directed the 2000-something comedy, The Breakup. Not many people saw that. My mom did. So he's back. He directed the first film, and there was a whole issue with Edgar Wright wanting to direct. It went back and forth between directors. Peyton Reed got it. Ant-Man was a surprise hit. I know that you watched it recently. What did you think of the first Ant-Man?
First Ant-Man, I thought it was alright.
Yeah?
Compared to the second one, I thought the second one was a lot better.
Yeah?
But the first one, it's kind of a risky movie, I think.
I agree.
Risky superhero, because it's kind of odd.
Yeah, not many people know about Ant-Man. Like, no one, like, they know Captain America, Iron Man. They don't know your Ant-Mans of the world. So that's what I think, too. I think it was a nice, fresh movie. It took a lot of risks. We're back here again with Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp. She was really great in the movie, wasn't she?
She was good. She was good.
She really, like, she was a real, I don't want to get too raunchy for this show, but she was a real BA. Bad, you know. But yeah, it was a really entertaining movie. What I was shocked at was, we were discussing this earlier, Ant-Man and the Wasp was just so funny. Like Deadpool 2, we saw Deadpool 2 together as well, and I enjoyed that movie very much, but I honestly laughed more in Ant-Man and the Wasp than in Deadpool, which is surprising to me.
I did as well. Like Deadpool 2, I just thought there were too many jokes. There were too many jokes, and they tried too hard, like adult jokes, inappropriate jokes.
For sure,
sexual jokes, whereas Ant-Man 2, it was just genuinely funny.
They didn't need
funny jokes.
They didn't need that shock value, and that was and what's great about that movie, in plot, direction, cinematography, the movie was very consistent with its tone. We're not here for an Infinity War. I'm sure a lot of people went in wanting a follow-up to Infinity War, something really dark, really somber, but you're not going to get that with Ant-Man. You're going to get a fun ride with the great actors. Paul Rudd, so likable.
Paul Rudd, yeah. He seems like a family man.
He seems like a family man indeed with those ants. But yeah, it was a solid movie. The plot, it was a little, there wasn't a whole lot of complex stuff going with the plot. The villain Ghost, she was pretty good. I enjoyed what they did with her at the end. They didn't just wipe her out of the existence. But so the plot wasn't great. What would you say?
I'd say it was alright. It was hard who to tell the villain was, because there was that other dude.
Yeah, Walton Goggins played him. Yeah, he's a good actor, but
he is
for sure. But that. I think another standout of this movie was just the action, and like the action really just was spectacular. It's interesting with these Ant-Man movies because you're getting these small objects getting blasted to like huge heights and whatnot, and it's just so much fun and creative stuff you can do with it. And Marvel's never been really, besides a couple of their movies, which they do kind of go for like more complex stuff, I guess. But this one, you're just here for a fun ride. They know it. There's not a lot deeper here, but it's just a fun time, funny stuff. What would you say?
Yeah, I went into the movie thinking, oh man, another Ant-Man and a sequel. Like, how is this going to be? But I was impressed.
Yeah,
it was better than the first one. It's definitely one of my favorite Marvel movies, I think.
Good. Yeah, it's a fun experience. It'll fly by like that. I was surprised that it ended so soon. And so I don't know. I would definitely recommend it full price at the theater. I think that it's a good time at the theater. Family movie, not too many raunchy jokes or anything. I would definitely recommend it, Ben. I'm assuming you'd recommend it.
I'd recommend it. Stay for the after scene credit.
Because
it gets crazy.
That after scene. It's the first. Was there two or was there one?
I think there was one.
There's one. There might be. We'll check. We stayed for one. I know for sure. But that first one.
First one was crazy. You gotta see. I don't want to get into spoilers here for you guys, but that first scene, it really ties into the overarching Marvel universe, and it brings up some interesting stuff for Avengers 4, maybe that we can we'll divulge into in later movies. And now moving on to our next movie, and I don't want you guys to think that the old Cinema Stories vibe and everything is gone. You know, you guys know me. You know what I'm looking for in a movie. It's about the plot, direction, cinematography, character, and performance. A movie that had most of those things, which we're moving on to next. Long-awaited sequel. It's been a while since the first one, wouldn't you say, Ben? It has been. It's been, what, 14 years?
Something like that. It's been a while. I think so. 14 years. Yeah. While since Incredibles to long-awaited. Ben, what did you think of the first adventures with the Parr family?
I thought the first movie was great. Classic Pixar movie. Humor that everyone can get, you know. Good villain. Good plot.
Great villain.
Just a good movie.
And I think with that movie, I think that movie is really interesting to me because the first while, and pretty much the whole movie is about like a guy with a midlife crisis.
Yeah,
and that it is. And just seeing his kind of transformation, it's tackling kind of complex kind of things. for a movie that a bunch of kids are going to see. And I think that's interesting. That's what kind of sets Pixar aside from a lot of other movies. So we're back here again. I didn't even know they're called the Parr Family. Honest, did you ever know that? No. I just heard it one day.
It kind of threw me off guard.
I was
5 seconds ago, to be honest.
All right. But, so, yeah, there was, I saw this movie. Ben has not seen that movie yet. And, Ben, I'm going to give you my honest opinion on this movie. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot. Incredibles is a classic. I don't know if anything's going to tackle that. Like I said, the director he's a great director. He walks the line of drama, these complex themes, and just lighthearted fun very well. He walks that line really well. And it was going to be hard from the beginning to top, and I don't think he did personally. The plot, as you know, is the Parr family. Their Elastigirl is kind of thrown into the spotlight. Superheroes are coming back. And with that plot, and Mr. Parr, Mr. Incredible, a lot of people say, one of our friends, Adam, he says I look a lot like Mr. Incredible. Would you say that's accurate?
I'd say it's partially accurate.
Partially accurate?
Yeah. There's a resemblance there.
There's a resemblance for sure. I always love to hear that I look like a computer-generated character. Always great to hear. But, yeah, this movie didn't really live up to the hype for me. It was still so much fun, and I think Pixar, they've really mastered their craft with that animation. With just even in the trailers alone that you've seen, that animation is so slick.
It was good back then.
Yeah, it was.
It was insane.
They really figured out their game, because even in Toy Story, do you remember Sid?
He was the crazy kid.
He was ugly,
he was
man. That kid, he was funny looking, man. Even this like animation, everything. He scared me as a child. It was kind of freaky. But the animation here, they got their humans down, man. It is slick animation. They had Coco. Did you see Coco?
No.
I didn't. I heard great things about Coco.
I think it was nominated, wasn't it?
They had, like, the guy who sang it at the Oscars, he was, like, really off-key at first. I remember that. I was like, oh, gosh, this is kind of cringy. But besides the point. Yeah, I enjoyed this movie a lot. The animation, slick as ever. The action was another, like Ant-Man, it just flowed really, really well together. Everything, it was very vibrant, just the action hit you. And it was good, and that's great in a movie with supervillains and superheroes and an animated picture. Frozone, wish he was in it more.
Oh no!
I love me some Frozone, like the super suit.
Give me my super suit.
Where's my super suit? Exactly. I wish there was more of him. Maybe Frozone standalone. We'll direct it.
Oh yeah,
we'll cast Samuel Jackson. I mean, that was a pretty good Sam Jackson impression. Maybe we just get you.
Where's your Nicolas Cage one?
Screw. Okay, it's the Cage Man. I'm Nicolas Cage. The Declaration of Ben doesn't think I have a good Nicolas Cage. You guys know I have a great Nicolas Cage impression.
No, I love it.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But yeah, this movie.
I got a question for you.
What's the question?
I got a question that I've been begging to ask.
You saved it for this show.
I've been saving it. It's about Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2, let's hear it.
Alright, so we all know how the first one ended.
We do.
How the Underminer rose up from the concrete, yelled, "I'm the Underminer!"
He yelled that. He did!
And my question is he the main villain for the second movie?
Alright. I'm testifying here today to answer that question. No, he was not, unfortunately.
Oh, order in the court! Order in the court!
All right. Yeah, he's not the main villain. Gotta say, one of the things that did let me down about this movie, the villain, you kind of see it from a mile away, but it's one of those things where you're like, oh, that's the villain, but it might be like a mislead. Okay. Like, it's too obvious, and you're like, oh, that's the villain. Okay. But like I said, still fun. There's the ending and everything coming to the ending is fun. All the performances are spectacular in the movie. Like I said, Samuel L. Jackson. Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul, he's in the movie. Really good.
Is he the villain?
I'm not at liberty to say. I'm not at liberty to say that. But yeah, everything, the performances, everything is really sharp. It's just the plot isn't as deep as the first one. All the character stuff with Mr. Incredible and Jack, that's all great. The kids are great. The powers are great. It was just wasn't as, I guess, complex for me, and I kind of like that. in my movies. I think Pixar balances that well. And I didn't think they really lived up to the potential that way. But again, I would definitely recommend it. Maybe a matinee, see it with the kids on like a Sunday or something. I really enjoyed it. I'd probably give it a good like 3.8 out of 5, which is really, I think, a solid score. I think earlier I would have given Ant-Man and the Wasp probably 3.6 or something out of 5. What would you say?
I probably would have, probably around the same.
Yeah.
Probably around 3.8.
3.8?
Yeah,
good.
It a lot.
We're going to average at 3.7 then. Math lessons, which will lead us to our next movie. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to transition this. But math lessons, right? School. After our math lessons, we played at recess. We went to school together.
We did.
Didn't play... We weren't the bestest of friends in grade school. We've built this relationship, though, in the last years. It's been great.
It has.
But we never played a lot of tag together.
No, we did not.
Which leads... We do now. We make up for... lots of tag all the time on weekends. We're not partying. We're not having fun times at places. We're just playing tag all the time.
Even at work.
Even at work. And which leads us to the movie Tag, starring Ed Helms, Jeremy Renner, Hannibal Buress, John Hamm. A lot of talented people are involved with this. Isla Fisher. And Ben, you didn't see this one as well.
I did not.
I was fortunate to see it. It was on a stormy day, and the movie actually shut off like halfway through, and they had to like rewind it and start over. It was a big mess.
Okay.
Maybe that was a reason why I didn't love this movie. I thought the first half was really, really funny. And, you're going to tag. You don't want anything like too deep or anything. Yeah. It's tag. It's about these grown men.
True story.
It is a true story. I feel like it was a little... Because some of the things they do in this movie...
it was a little stretched.
Yeah, some things are a little dark for this movie, actually. It went pretty dark. And it's been out for a couple weeks. I won't spoil it. But like I said, for the first half of this movie, it was a good comedy. Everyone's pretty likable. There's assortment of cast, a variety of people all interacting. And it's kind of cool to see that these people who went to school together, they maintain their connection through this like silly game. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting to see, and that brought to the big screen. But I think where this movie, the comedy's hitting, and there's a point in the movie where it takes a little turn. It's probably at the end of the second act or something. And Jeremy Renner, he has never been tagged before. And he does many things to avoid being tagged. And he does something that is very morally questionable. And, it's a movie, right? So that's fine. This is one of those things that you're at the dinner table with your family. It's kind of weird to talk about. Like, it's kind of this... It's an odd thing for this comedy to do. It's rated R, so, like, they can get away with it. But it's a little close to home, I think, for a lot of people. It was kind of a little unsettling a little bit. And not unsettling, but a little out of taste a little bit, I would say, for the movie. And I know you wanted to see it, and I think I still would recommend it, maybe for a rental. But at that point, that happens, all right? So I was like, okay, we're just going to finish the movie. And then another twist happens later, which I thought, this is the nice, cute twist. This is how it's going to all wrap up. But the whole time I'm thinking, did they really just do the thing? And I know it's probably hard for you because you probably don't know what it is.
All these things are running through my head. What could it be?
It's pretty bad. So you're probably in anticipation. Like I said, funny movie throughout. Great performances by everyone. Everyone's just funny. They're not Daniel Day-Lewis going for an Oscar or anything. But
that was pretty good.
Thank you. I try my best. But yeah, it was just a funny movie. Funny people. It was a good time. It takes a little bit of turn that I think that you should be prepared for if you're a little sensitive to certain things, which is very vague. But I would maybe a rental if you're home alone and you're just on. This is like a movie. If you're like flipping through the channels, it would be on like FX or something or TBS. This would probably be on
Hallmark.
Maybe
not Hallmark.
Maybe Lifetime. I mean, I don't know what this twist man may be, but so yeah, maybe a modest rental for this movie. Benjamin, my dear Benjamin.
Yes, Mr. Kirby.
Our next movie, Hotel Artemis, little film. What did you think of it? Don't even tell me that. Describe to me the plot of Hotel Artemis.
Okay.
It's kind of hard.
Okay, the plot of Hotel Artemis. I'll do a summary here.
A little summary.
So basically, I don't know what...
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
All right.
I don't know what city they're in. It takes place in the future. That kind of caught me off guard. I thought it took place modern day, but it's like 40 years into the future, something like that. And basically, there's this hotel that criminals, or really anybody can go, I guess, if they know about it. If they have like certain... What was it? Like a certain like...
Identification. And that kind of rings some bells, because you think of that kind of premise, you think of John Wick, because that is a plot point in John Wick. Like Intercontinental. Exactly. What's the word that your miscommunicado?
No, it's
excommunicado.
Is that it?
Excommunicado from Cinema Stories.
Not miscommunicado.
Excommunicado. Great. So, yeah, I will say that I was excited for this movie. It's a smaller, more independent movie. Not your average blockbuster Marvel movie. Something on its own. It had a great cast. You had Bautista from Guardians of the Galaxy. One of my favorite. Jodie Foster as the lead. You have...
Jeff Goldblum.
The
GOAT.
I love Jeff Goldblum. Yes. Chaos Theory, yes. So as you can see, my impressions on the first round, they're not great, but we'll get there.
We'll work on them.
We'll work on them together. Yes, I don't know how you do that together, but we'll do it.
Dream work.
Yeah, it does. So basically, Hotel Artemis, I think that a way to describe the plot is more of kind of a theme with it, which is order versus chaos. And a motif that regularly repeats in there is these rules that this woman has. And it's interesting seeing this woman who's stuck in the past.
Yeah.
With a certain plot element we won't really spoil here. Someone comes into the hotel, brings up some parts of her past. So she's a very structured lady, and this whole outside the hotel, it's going down, man.
It's basically a riot.
It is riots all over. They're about to be destroyed, but it's this woman who is set on these rules, and it kind of is very thematic in that way, where she's kind of stuck in the past a little bit, but then her world, she has these rules, she's put herself in this little bubble, and then it's come crashing down behind her. And then I like the ending where she just... I won't spoil the ending. I like her choice at the end, what she does at the very end.
You think?
Puts her headphones back on.
Okay.
She goes back to do certain things. The action... In these movies, I was very much expecting a John Wick action movie. Mm-hmm. Not really that.
No, there was not really any action.
There was one scene with Sofia Boutella, who was really good in this.
And Dave Bautista.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really good those two, really good action.
Mm-hmm.
Little more of it would have been...
Ideal,
I think. And that's the thing. The movie kind of, in the trailers, sells itself as kind of this independent action movie. And it's more of a drama, kind of, about these characters. Sure. It's more of a little character piece, which speaks to that there's not really much of a plot.
Uh-huh.
Like, things with the plot.
Yeah, there's kind of a different plot with each character. Each character has their own small
little story. Yeah, but like nothing really overarches into you know what I mean? So it's kind of... So it can be a little bit of a tedious watch, I would say. It was in this theater, we were kind of just sitting there, like, kind of, all right, where is this going?
Yeah.
Didn't really go anywhere too much, but I think for me, what I really enjoyed, where we might disagree a little bit, is that just motif of that character kind of study of that order and the chaos, and maybe there doesn't really need to be a plot. But then again, certain plot elements, like the pen in the pen full of diamonds with the Wolf King.
Yeah.
That plot...
That was kind of nothing.
It's inconsequential. It doesn't really go anywhere. So there's certain spots like that where it's like, all right, was this necessary? The performances, all good. Mm-hmm. The action is good when it comes. It's a nice little character piece. I think it's good to go support movies like these, because we read this article about the director and Bautista putting in their own money to finance it. And when you have passion about a movie, that's something we would do.
Yeah,
that's something
props to them.
Yeah, they put their own money in to get this movie made. Gotta respect it. Like I said, it's probably not in theaters anymore, but I would recommend maybe seeing it on a rental or something. Maybe supporting him that way. I thought it was good. I give it a 3.3 out of 5. What do you say?
What would I say? I'd say maybe like a 2.7.
2.7?
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed.
Oh my goodness, my heart.
I'm sorry, man.
Was there anything that really, like, that you didn't really vocalize that you think that...
I mean, you said you liked the ending. I personally disliked the ending.
You disliked the ending.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of dumb.
Really?
But,
Okay.
I mean, it was an okay movie. It's
Yeah.
not a horrible movie. I wouldn't, like, say don't see it.
Okay.
But I'm saying maybe like you did with Tag, see it maybe on like the
rental.
Hallmark channel.
Hallmark
or, like,
channel.
FX or
Yeah.
whatever,
If the Hallmark channel is showing Hotel Artemis, I love what they've done with the Hallmark channel.
I would like that
so
too.
that'll range it out to about a 3 out of 5. Still a solid movie. Definitely recommend support that stuff. And it might not be your cup of tea, but you know what? That's fine. Just go enjoy yourself.
I hope they the director and Dave Bautista makes their money back. It wasn't a horrible movie.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where we agree. Where I liked it obviously a little more than you, but you can see like the passion that was put into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something that you want to support. So speaking of smaller movies, a movie that I saw was really impressed with, kind of in the same vein of Hotel Artemis, is Upgrade. Upgrade. Oh, we're upgrading over here at Cinema Stories. What? Check out that Cinema Stories merch.
Oh.
That is our shameless plug for the day. Ben is laughing over there, and he's enjoying himself. He's enjoying himself here, guys. I don't have him here against his will. But so, Upgrade. Upgrade is, if you're looking for action, Hotel Artemis didn't give you it. This has got the action. This has some pretty gruesome action, if you ask me. Again, it's kind of an indie summer movie. It was a blast. It was something original. The visuals in it were really well done. You can tell that there's not a huge budget going into it. Did you see any trailers or anything for Upgrade?
I didn't see a trailer. I thought it looked pretty good. I wanted to see it, but I didn't even know it was in theaters.
See, what it kind of reminds me of is the Venom trailers too. They kind of had like a voice in the main character's head, kind of telling them what to do. And if Venom's anywhere near this good, I'm going to enjoy Venom. Okay. Are you looking forward to Venom?
I don't know. The trailer kind of threw a curveball at me. I like the old Venom. I like the Tobey Maguire and whatever that guy's name was.
That movie gets a bad rap.
It does. I think it's the best one, Spider-Man 3.
I think it's pretty thematic. I like the Venom.
Sandman.
Sandman, for sure. That movie doesn't get a lot of credit. But so this movie is kind of in the same vein of those other indie, more art housey kind of action movies. It's more of actually a sci-fi movie and you don't really get that throughout because this guy, he's kind of a mechanic kind of guy fixing cars. He actually looks a lot like Tom Hardy, who's actually in Venom. Fun fact, looks exactly like him.
Okay.
But yeah, so you don't really get this. You understand it's in the future and there's sci-fi elements, but where it takes the turn at the end, the twist. This is a twist I think that you would really enjoy because it fits with everything in the movie and it just comes together at the end. And sometimes, movies, they're not all sunshine and rainbows. They don't have to have a happy ending, you know? And this movie, not saying it does or it doesn't, but it does play with certain things that you don't really expect. And I think all of it contributing together, the action is horrifying. Like, there's gruesome action, lots of gore, and in the scenes that there are, lots of gore. It's a simple plot, straightforward. I would say it's more like John Wick than really Hotel Artemis was. Really just a fun movie. I definitely recommend. It's probably not in theaters again, I would say that, because, it's been a while, guys. But but I would definitely recommend it on a home rental watch. I think you would enjoy it, Ben. I give it 4 out of 5.
From what I've been hearing, I'd rate the same.
Good. Good. Because I'm like the only person who saw that. So, awesome. Yeah, simple, fun, well-made, thematic. Speaking of thematic, Ben, would you consider yourself a horror movie enthusiast?
To a point.
To a point.
I like the Conjuring movies. I like Saw movies.
Okay.
I like classic horror movies, but I haven't seen it.
Spicy with those Saw movies. Gets a little spicy there.
Yeah.
So we saw Annabelle Creation last year.
Yeah.
Fun time.
Yeah, that was good.
With Aaron Kopp, buddy Aaron Kopp. You guys gotta meet him. So I'm a horror guy too. I like the classics. I like The Shining. The Shining is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I want to see that again very soon. So I saw the movie Hereditary. Now, Hereditary, you see the trailer, you're expecting something a little messed up. It's made from A24. A24 is very focused on indie movies. They do a lot of horror stuff. They had a movie called The Witch, which was...
that was a scary one.
You saw The Witch?
No, but I heard about it.
Okay.
I heard that was a scary one.
It's pretty... Hereditary is the same way, where it's not really... You're not getting jump scared all the time, like, whoa, jumping at you, or like something like is like, hey, like to open the door, like it's a nun or something, from The Conjuring. But this movie was freaky. It was really freaky, horrifying, I would say. And there's a lot of horrific imagery for sure. But really the most terrifying thing about this movie is just the tension that builds up throughout it. And that tension where like you're in a room and it's kind of awkward, and like someone just said a joke, and the joke wasn't funny, and then you're just standing there, kind of awkward. It was like that, but imagine if like someone got decapitated in that room. Yeah, that's what it's like. And I'm not saying someone gets decapitated, but
is it kind of like Mother with Jennifer?
Oh, good, yeah.
You're saying the rise in tension, and I remember watching that, and I remember it just kept going and going, like, and to a point where you're like, oh my god, what's going on?
See, with Mother, at the end of that movie, I was like, this is the most disturbing movie I'm ever going to see. And I think Hereditary topped it. It's pretty darn horrifying. But with horror movies, if that's what they're trying to do, good for them. Because that's what they were trying to get. It's at the end, it's a little more like conventional horror movie. It's like a little bit more House of Scares, like at the end of the Conjuring movies, that kind of thing. But it takes a twist during, I would say, the first act, and have you seen the trailer for Hereditary?
I have not seen the trailer for it.
So there's this little girl, and you think it's going to be like a little girl, like, scary movie. It's not. It takes a turn. It takes much like Tag, two different movies, totally. Both are featured on the Hallmark Channel tonight. It is National Woman's Night at the Hallmark Channel. I don't know. But anyways, the movie, very horrifying. It takes a twist. You don't know where it's going. I thought it was pretty terrific. That's what I like in horror movies, that tone. That's the thing with The Shining, where it just establishes this tone, and you don't really know where it's going to lead to, but you just feel so uncomfortable throughout. And with this movie, I honestly had my eyes hidden, and nothing really jumped out, but it was just so gross. Like, you felt like you've worked out 8 days in a row and you haven't showered, and like you bathed in garbage. Okay, I don't know who does that.
I think I understand.
You get the picture.
I think I've been in that situation.
You've been in that situation before.
Yeah. That's pretty gross. From
what
I've experienced.
It's definitely gross. It's not for people who are. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not for people who like The Conjuring. It's a different movie from The Conjuring, so just be prepared. It's art house horror. And we know that art house, it can get really weird. An art house horror can get really, really weird. But I like kind of weird stuff in my horror movies. I like that tension. Thought it was really well made. One of the best of the year, I thought. Top 5 for me so far. Just really well made. I wouldn't recommend anyone see it with their like parents or like
grandma,
great-grandmas, great-uncles.
Younger sister.
Agreed. They would find it kind of horrifying, So
you're gonna get nightmares.
I got nightmares. I was scared. I was scared driving home. But yeah, but like I said, it's very just kind of, and it's original. You don't know where it's going throughout for the most part, and it ties together really well. Not perfect. Like I said, the end gets a little conventional, but still, I thought it was a solid movie.
I gotta see it.
I definitely recommend it to you. I think you should definitely watch it.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it to come on this.
All right, you and Cobb can watch it. No. Our friend Aaron, He's very excitable during horror movies.
He's very vocal with what he's thinking.
He's very vocal during horror movies. So Annabelle with him, great time. He will love this movie. So I would say 4.5 out of 5. I'm going pretty high. That's, I think, my highest rated on the show this year.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
But you know what? I think this next two coming up. This one is someone that you've seen.
Oh, have I?
Yes, you have. And you'll have to enlighten me on this one. So, Ben.
Yes, Mr. Kirby.
New to Cinema Stories. New to this podcasting world. Sweet summer child, Benjamin. You've watched I won't say master. Like, I'm a kind of like, what's the belt after white belt?
I think it's a yellow belt.
You've seen the yellow belt at action. My karate chop's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see you in action. Let's see the black belt. The new black belt in action. We'll see.
I think you mean a white belt.
Yeah, both. You got the skills of a black belt, but you're a white belt. You're just going to be great right off the bat.
Okay.
Tell me, sometimes when you're karate chopping things, you want to wear Cinema Story socks, which is good. Always get those. But sometimes you got to chop wood.
Chop wood?
Sometimes you can chop rocks.
I can chop rocks.
So what's your opinion of rocks? Or a rock?
Rocks,
Are you picking up on where I'm going with this transition?
Okay. I'm picking it up. Okay. So, I know there's a very big rock in Hollywood.
Really?
And his name is Dwayne The Rock
Daniel DeLuca.
Johnson.
Oh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Okay,
yeah,
good. We're on the same page. Cool.
Close.
Okay.
So, back in April, Dwayne The Rock Johnson released a new movie called Rampage.
Did you know that he wants to run for president?
I heard rumors.
Maybe one day. Who would be his running mate?
Kevin Hart.
I like that. Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So go on.
Anyway, he released a movie called Rampage, and the other day, a few days ago, I watched it for the first time.
You watched Rampage.
I watched Rampage.
And this is the movie, and I saw the trailer a while ago. We watched it in film class.
Have you seen it?
Rampage?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So you're gonna be telling me all about it. But I do remember the trailer. We actually watched it in a film class. My teacher was like, "Look at this."
Okay.
But
okay.
It's with a giant monkey.
It is with a giant gorilla named George. And I can't really the plot's kind of hard. So basically, there are these giant animals that get infected with this kind of man-made thing.
Yeah.
And they end up going around causing a lot of chaos.
Lots of chaos.
And Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Is Kevin Hart in this movie?
His job. Kevin Hart is not in this movie, sadly.
Rats.
But Dwayne The Rock Johnson is a gorilla rescuer.
Stop it, gorilla. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is a gorilla. He's a big man.
Might as well be.
Strong guy.
Might as well be.
But strong guy.
And so he goes from gorilla rescuer to saving the world once again in one of his movies.
And what do we think?
What do I think? I think it was overall pretty good.
Pretty good.
I mean, Dwayne The Rock Johnson movies, they're kind of, to me, very similar. They all kind of have the same vibes going to them.
He doesn't have a lot of diversity in his acting repertoire.
No, and he's not a bad actor. He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a very charismatic guy.
Yeah.
Like Jumanji.
Jumanji was great. Yeah, I love Jumanji.
Yeah.
And I think he's a good actor. I like watching his movies. And this one, I think, was one of his better movies.
Good.
Rampage was based off of a old video game.
I heard that. Yeah.
And I used to have it, and it was pretty fun.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. And didn't in that one you could the people could grow up to big. Is that, am I wrong? That the people grew to big sizes and fought the.
I don't know. I don't remember.
All right.
I don't know if that was the one that I had.
Wouldn't that be great if Dwayne The Rock Johnson grew
huge.
800 feet tall?
With how the movie worked out, if certain things lined up, he probably could have.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of explains the movie you're getting right there, if that's a possibility.
And, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't a horrible movie. I thought it was one of his better movies. And,
good.
Enjoyable. Keeps you entertained.
Eat a lot of popcorn.
Eat a lot of popcorn.
Have a good time with it. So that's good to hear. If you had to give it a rating, what would you rate it?
Out of 5?
Out of 5.
All right. Out of
5. 3 is like the vibe of good. So 3 and above is good.
Okay.
And then 2 and lower is like kind of it's kind of the spectrum. That's like the Rotten Tomatoes kind of spectrum of it.
Okay. So I'd probably give it I'd give an average Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie probably a 3.2.
Okay. Yeah,
I'd give this one probably 3.5, I think. I think it's
nice,
a little better.
like a nice 7 out of 10. That's solid.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it.
You know, you kind of sold me on it now because I kind of want to see it.
Let's go see it together.
Okay, let's do it. We're off to see Rampage, folks. We'll be back soon. Ben, we live somewhat close to each other.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We do. Don't look us up and try to find our addresses. You know, that's weird. But so we live somewhat close. Will you consider us neighbors? You have a nice little neighborhood.
I do have a nice.
You have a lot of friends.
I mean, I don't want to sound like cocky or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
But I do have a nice neighborhood. You have a nice neighborhood.
It's a nice little neighborhood, you know.
We live in a nice area.
It's a good area of town.
Culture.
Can I ask you a question, Benjamin?
You can.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Oh, will I be your neighbor?
Will you be
your neighbor?
So I saw a movie a couple of weeks ago at a cinema called the Downer Cinema in Milwaukee. It's a nice older theater. They have some independent movies playing. And I heard about this documentary with Mr. Rogers, a documentary about his life, kind of, his run on the show of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And when I was a kid, were you a Mr. Rogers guy?
I was.
You were?
I was. He was my guy.
He was your guy. He was your neighbor.
He was my neighbor.
He was
my neighbor.
He was my neighbor too. Yes, he was my neighbor too. I watched him a lot as a kid. We used to watch it with my parents. Like that was around when my parents were like a lot younger, and it's crazy. He had many years, like 30+ years of running that show. It's crazy, but So honestly, I was a fan of Mr. Rogers. He always seemed like a genuinely nice guy. You know, nothing like wrong about him.
A lot of rumors around him.
Weird rumors. Like there was a rumor that he like killed people in war.
Yeah. There's a rumor he's an ex-Navy SEAL or something.
Weird stuff. Yeah. Weird stuff. And I'm thinking, I want to find out if Mr. Rogers is a grizzled war veteran. You know,
he's got sleeves under those sleeves.
If he's got of those sweaters, ooh, those sweaters look pretty good on him, I gotta say. And this movie, it broke my heart, man. Oh. Now this movie, it's not. There's nothing really special about the format it takes, and which is usually good in a documentary. You want a kind of a variety of format just so you can have a little diversity with it. You know, something more interesting than typical. Yeah. It doesn't really stray from that, but this movie, the character of Mr. Rogers and the person of Mr. Rogers and the subject matter is a powerful thing. And I don't think you get that in a lot of movies nowadays. Because with like the post-modernist art movements to sound more like, you know, artsy or whatever. It's you go towards more like darker stories. There's a lot of dark stories with dark endings. You know, you want to focus on these like, I don't want to say dark again, but more complex characters. And there's not a lot of people nowadays. I feel like kind of, and I don't want to sound negative, but a lot of the world has become kind of cynical, I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And I say that about the movie-going experience too. And I think even in the format of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, it's kind of a weird kind of show, slow-moving show, nothing really too exciting going on. And this movie, it's something different with this character. He's just such a nice guy, such an optimist. There's 3 times this movie I teared up. I don't really tear up in a lot of movies. I don't do it a lot, you know. Fast and Furious, sure. You know, probably cry in Rampage. But Won't You Be My Neighbor, kind of teared up. Has there been a movie that you cried in? Do you know, or are you a grizzled war vet, Mr. Rogers?
Let's see. Any movies I cried in? You know, I can't really think of any off the top of my head.
I mean,
I know I cried in The Office.
The Office, the final.
Not to, yeah.
Oh, we need an episode on The Office, man. That's that final episode.
Whole season on The Office.
Tear jerking stuff. But yeah, this movie, he's such a charming guy. And what the story with him is that he was an ordained minister, but he decided that a way to connect with kids, because he and it's not really stated overtly, but it's more subtle that he didn't have a great childhood. He was kind of bullied as a kid, and the way that he used these puppets on the show were kind of like defense mechanisms and way to like cope with his own kind of life.
Making me tear up over here.
Am I? But yeah, it's just going through his kind of life, his run on the show, and he kind of became like, I don't want to say grizzled old man, but the world, you could tell, took a toll on him.
Yeah.
But the whole time he was an optimist. He was a good man of faith. He really wanted to express that you should have love and tolerance for like everyone, no matter if you agree with them on things or you don't agree with them. Some of the stuff was very radical for his time on TV, and it's just so interesting watching such a calm guy be such, as we said earlier, a BA. He was really a great man, and hopefully in like 20 years we don't find out bad stuff about him. That'd be bad.
Yeah,
but
that'd be unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Part of a lot of people's childhoods. But yeah, this movie, this is probably, again, top 3 favorite of the year. Okay. I gotta say, this movie, because when you go to a movie, you can go to a movie and like get a good time, and like those are good movies, But sometimes like movies, like they kind of not change, but like you kind of think about things in a different way after them, It really kind of affects you and like makes you kind of check yourself and be like, what can I do? What can I be like nice? Is there any movies that really like affected the way that you thought maybe how you just went about everyday life? Is there anything that inspired you? Anything that touched you like that? What do you say?
Most movies I just watch for entertainment.
Sure.
To be entertained. And I watched this movie a few months ago on Netflix, and I think it was nominated for Best Oscar or something.
Okay.
Or Best Picture, whatever. And it was called Into the Wild.
Okay.
And Into the Wild, that movie changed how I think about a lot of things.
Really?
Yeah, not
really?
gonna lie.
You've been recommending it to me for so long, and I want to see it's really bad.
I think it's really good. I think it's, not gonna lie, it's either my first or second favorite movie.
Really? And can you? What is it kind of? Would you say?
What do you mean?
What do you say it's about? Kind of, and like
in a short summary?
And like why it affected you, kind of.
So it's basically, in the movie, it's about a guy who basically has everything. He grows up really wealthy. His parents buy him everything, stuff like that, and he just realizes that it's not what life's about, and he kind of just gets rid of everything, and he focuses more on his spiritual life, I should say, and connecting with the earth, and just how it impacts people's lives. It's just crazy. Yeah,
and so that's again, like, when you get movies like that, I like going for those experiences. Those are, you don't get them all, that's the cool thing about movies, you can get like a short experience like that and like be like, oh, this is how I can apply it to my life.
Exactly.
And it is on Netflix. I did check. I have to see it still. But if you're into the Wild, we were talking about Mr. Rogers. But if you're into the Wild, if you want to see that, check it out. If you are able to see Won't You Be My Neighbor, I think it's getting a wide release now. I think it's getting more buzz. More people are seeing it, wanting to see it. And so I'd recommend that. I definitely do it. I would give it a pretty high 4.6 out of 5.
Really?
Highest of the year. Definitely.
The year.
And like I said, not structured in any like particularly cool, like different way, nothing like super interesting, but just the heart of it and the character of Mr. Rogers really vibed with me, man. I don't know. I was feeling good after it. And so, yeah, that movie, one of my favorite of the year. So, Ben, that was the summer movie spectacular. We talked about a lot of summer movies. Incredibles, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Rampage. It came out in April, but we'll say summer.
Yeah.
A lot of yeah. Love the enthusiasm. We had a good time. I'm digging this new format. Like, we're gonna get used to it. We're gonna have a good time with it. I'm enjoying it. Are you enjoying yourself?
I am enjoying myself.
Awesome. Do you know what's really enjoyable?
What? Movies
and movie news.
Oh, movie news. Oh, hello.
Yes, we are working, Ben. Thank you for that mic check. Yes, indeed, movie news. Ben, we talked about Ant-Man and the Wasp today.
Correct.
We did. So, let me tell you, do you know what the next movie coming out for the Marvel Cinematic Universe is?
What is it?
It is Captain Marvel.
Oh.
Now, have you heard... Now, we've obviously seen the after credits scene to Avengers Infinity War. A little tease about Captain Marvel. Do you know anything about Captain Marvel?
Not really. I've heard that she's basically like a Superman of Marvel.
You know, that's a good way to put it. I not many people know a lot about Captain Marvel, but in today's movie news, Brie Larson, the star of Captain Marvel, tweeted out a photo of her holding the clip, the slate.
Oh, yeah?
Of the film, saying that they had a finished production on Captain Marvel. So that movie is coming out pretty soon. It's coming in next March. Would you say that you're excited for Captain Marvel coming out next March?
I'm very excited.
And that's the only Marvel movie until now, and Avengers 4.
Oh, really?
So that'll really tie everything together.
Yeah.
There's news reports that a bunch of old characters from prior Marvel movies are coming back for this one. Like the bad guy from Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. And also Agent Coulson from The Avengers.
I don't know who that is.
It's the dude who got stabbed by Loki.
Oh, he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. It takes place in the past.
Oh yeah.
It does, yes. Okay. We are aficionados here. And our next story on this episode of Cinema Stories, our final news piece. It's been a couple of weeks. We don't want to hit you with too much news. There have been a couple of trailers that dropped.
There have. There've been a lot of trailers.
A lot of trailers. And tell me, are you a fan of the Predator franchise? Have you seen any of them?
I am. I've seen, I'd say half of them. I know there's a lot of them, but I've seen like the original one. I've seen probably like the third one, and I've seen like the newest one, Predators, plural.
Great. That's a great strategy to do with sequels. You just add an S at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
It works for a lot of franchises. But yeah, so I've never seen. Would you say that you're a fan of those series?
I would. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty good alien movie.
The makeup on those things, I remember, they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
I've seen like stuff from Alien vs Predator, and there was a new trailer. Would you say you're excited for this trailer? I like some of the people involved with it.
Okay.
But I'm not really a huge fan of the franchise, so I can't really say that I'm excited for it. Would you say that you're going to see it?
I'm going to see it, for sure. Yeah. I don't know, I'm just excited for it.
Yeah.
I hope it's real good.
Good.
You know?
I hope it is real good as well. And another trailer that dropped, Creed 2. Now, have you seen all the Rocky movies?
I've seen the first one. And that's about it.
What do you think of the first Rocky movie?
I thought it was pretty good. It's good original. Sylvester Stallone wrote the script himself, which is pretty cool. And that was his first movie, which I think is really cool. It was just a good movie. You know?
Yeah, it was a good movie. The whole story behind it, I think, is really cool. I love the Rocky franchise. Me and my dad would watch it all the time in recent years. I really like the original Creed. Did you see Creed?
Parts of it.
Parts of it?
Yeah.
Like it? You know?
Yeah, it was okay. It was pretty good.
Yeah. I was a big fan of Creed. I saw it opening night, really big fan. And this trailer, you got some exciting stuff going on. Michael B. Jordan's back, the main character, Creed. He's going to be fighting Ivan Drago's son. Yes.
Who did he fight in the first one?
He fought some dude.
Okay. I thought he fought him in the first one.
New Zealand guy or something. Yeah. But he's fighting for his father. That's the guy. So Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed.
Yep.
So there's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of suspense in this one. I'm looking forward to it. Would you say? Are you a boxing? What do you say? How do you feel about like sports movies, like boxing movies?
I like them.
You do.
I like sports movies. Boxing movies are good.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know. There's not that many. I feel like not that many boxing movies.
Well, yeah, that's like I'd agree with that. Yeah, I think that in there's a few years ago there was like that Southpaw. Remember Southpaw?
Right, I didn't see that
with Jake Gyllenhaal. It was okay. I didn't love it, but
there was one called Warrior, I think.
Oh yeah,
that wasn't really boxing. It was like UFC type.
Okay,
thing.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of UFC movies actually.
No, not at all.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm definitely looking forward to Creed 2. And those are your short version of today's Cinema Stories, the movie news in the entertainment industry. And that is about it on this very special episode of Cinema Stories. A lot of moving parts today, a lot of changes. We're kind of getting comfortable with this new kind of format. Would you say you enjoyed yourself today, Ben?
I enjoyed myself greatly.
Great! I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. It's been a fun time talking with you about the movies that we've seen this summer.
Yeah.
You know, I think that a great part about movies is like the people you see it with, and we see a lot of movies together. We got a lot of friends who see it, and that's something that I think that could be really cool. Like talking to your friends about your movies. You already do that on the side, and now doing it for you guys, that could be something cool. You know? Yeah, definitely. So again, we are brought to you by the great people at Public House Media. Go check out their podcast, their store, get some Cinema Stories merchandise. You know the drill. Socks! Yes. Get some socks. Some Cinema Story socks. And who knows, maybe next week, we got something even more special planned for you guys. But it's kind of the DL. What, do you think we have something special?
I hope we have something special.
We'll have something special for you guys. So be prepared for that. We're getting used to this new format. We're going to get it down for you guys. We had a great time today. We really had a fun time talking about movies. Ben, where can people find you on social media?
Find me on social media? Well, you can follow my Instagram, I guess, at BenKamueller98.
Woo!
I mean, that's pretty cool. I got some pretty cool pictures on there.
He does. He's a good-looking guy.
Or you can search me on Facebook, Ben Kamueller.
Great. Well, Ben, thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me, sir.
As usual, this is Sam Kirby. You can follow me on Twitter at Samuel_J_Kirby or on Instagram at SamKirby17. So, guys, it's been a great summer so far. We've had some good movies. We've had some maybe not so good movies. But you know what? At the end of the day, like what you like. Don't like what you don't like. It's all about enjoying yourself, having a good time. That's what cinema is about. Experiencing something. Ben, any last words?
Nope. I am good.
We are good. So have a spectacular week. And we'll see you next time on Cinema